All right, it is part 6 of building a guitar here at the KleshGuitars shop. So right now I have my neck pocket and pickup routing template. I have it screwed to the top of the guitar. This one here is under the bridge, and then this one here is right along the edge. And that part's gonna get carved away anyway, so it doesn't matter. These are very short screws. But in the future, what I think I'm gonna do for every design, I'm gonna leave like a little bit of wood that I can purposefully screw into and then cut it out later after I have these cavities routed. It just makes more sense. Same thing for the back when I do the control cavity routes. It'll work for both. So that's something I added to my little instructional book that I'm writing for myself, because I am relearning how to build these things. It's all about thinking, 2 or 3 steps ahead and then trying to fix it before you get to that step. This works, but it could be better. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna route the neck and the pickup. And here I have a 1/2 inch flush cut bit. That bit right there is gonna ride along that template and cut the exact shape of the neck pocket and pickup cavity. I'm just gonna take the very top layer of this walnut off. I don't want to go deep first because I don't want any blowout. Okay, we're done routing the neck and pickup cavity. Let's see how it turned out. Now we just got 2 more to go. All right, awesome. So we have a little mess to clean up. The template did its job. We have our 3 bodies routed. Now, while I was routing these, I kind of thought of a few things that I can do to improve next time, right? And I'm gonna continue doing so until I have a nice continuous workflow from beginning to end of each guitar. But one of the things is, as you can see right here, I had to drill a hole right here in the side, which is fine, but I would rather have something like an intentional area to screw into that I'm gonna cut away, right? Because this is gonna get cut away, but it's gonna get carved away. And there's a slight chance that that screw, I only went in just like 3/16 of an inch deep. And if my math is right, that will go away. But if my math is wrong, we're gonna have a little problem here. Possibly. I'm still gonna, I'll fix it. I'll be able to sand it away and make the carve a little bit deeper. But instead of having that little problem, I would rather have, like I said, a little ear of wood to screw into, because the one screw for the template is under the bridge, and the other one is, it doesn't really have an assigned place. So that's one thing I want to fix. Also, this guitar design, this is called a shadow. At least that's what I named it a couple of years ago when I designed it. But this is the first time I'm actually attempting to build one. And as I was laying out the neck pocket and everything, I noticed it didn't look quite right. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm just messing around with the pencil. I'm thinking that I want to make more access to the higher frets up here. But once I figure this out and I get it to a nice design, I will change the template and update it so we won't have that problem again going forward. Okay, next we have to lay out our control cavities. Now, each of these designs are different, right? But I have like 2, so I have 2 different designs, and I would like to keep it, actually I'd like to have it as one design for every guitar shape. Just to simplify things. Right now, for that Manta, Asp, and Succubus, I have these smaller ones. And then for the XK and likely the Shadow design, it's gonna be the bigger one because I have more room down here to open it up. So I think this is gonna work for this design, but when we get to the Asp and stuff, that big control cavity, it may work. I just have to trace it on there and mess around with stuff. And I'll be doing that for the next couple hours. My mission right now is to get a control cavity template that works for all 5 or 6 designs, whatever I have. So we'll see how far I get. If we get to route them today, perfect. If not, that's fine too. The perimeter of the guitar, you can see it's lumpy and it's not perfect. It's still rough from the bandsaw. You can see there's still bandsaw blades on it. I need to route the perimeter of these as well. And that's pretty simple. You just put the template back on, flush cut router bit all the way around. But I can't do this one until I figure out the shape. So that's another thing. All right, we've got these things cleaned up. We've got those little screw marks taken out of all of our bevels here, our carves. All right, so in figuring out laying out the control cavities for these things, I kind of had to go back to my library of old guitar school stuff. I totally forgot about one important thing. See this square right here with the X in it? On the other side is the pickup. So if I was to drill the control cavity up here where I had it laid out before, I would have went right into the pickup cavity and it would have been a big mess. So pretty much what I did is I added these little ears here, and that is going to allow me to bring the cavity back to 3/4 of an inch away from the edge. And these little ears here are going to allow me to make a much smaller lip around the end of it because I can inlay the magnets into those little ears. So originally I was going to have a 3/8 inch lip so I can have the magnets comfortably seated in there. But if it was a 3/8 inch lip, then I had to have the whole thing shifted this way, bringing it in the pickup cavity. So that was the solution, those 3 little ears, especially on the succubus here. And I also designed it so that the ears, this one's really close, and I want that ear to be right there where that pickup cavity is. So in case it does touch it, even though this line here is a good 1/4 inch away, that's going to give me a little bit extra buffer room. And so you can see we're cutting it exactly to where we need to be. Output jack is going to come through here. And yeah, that should do it. I didn't lay this one out yet. That's next. And then we're going to route them out. That took all day. All right, it's the next day again. I haven't been editing or putting videos together because I think what I want to do is, you know, like for the past 3 days, I've kind of been just working, listening to music and working and just going step to step. And I'm writing myself a small book, you know, like an instructional manual on, you know, step by step how to do this. That way I'll at least feel qualified to make an instructional video on how to do this kind of stuff. Because right now I'm still learning myself and I kind of don't, you know, I know you guys like to see the process and I like to make the videos so I can look back at it and learn from my mistakes. But, you know, that's kind of what I'm doing now. That's kind of my thought process. In the past day, well, yesterday we drove up to Wyoming. I had to get some finish because they don't sell it in Colorado. So I had to go to the Ace Hardware up in Cheyenne to pick up some spray finish for these guitars because I don't have enough. I just drilled some holes. This is, well, I'll just use this one here to demonstrate. So I drilled the neck pocket holes. I drilled the strap button hole, the control cavity, the jack holes, the pickup holes, or the pickup hole, and the ground wire hole. So yeah, that pretty much just goes through the route there. I also drilled the volume control hole. So next is going to be carving the necks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take, basically I'm just going to cut into here on 4 corners with the sander. That way I can take the router and just route along here and knock off, you know, probably 30% of what I have to carve off, and, you know, totally. just to hog off that material. And then we'll take it to the router table and just round it over. And then we can start carving them by hand with this. I use the sander. I use the edge of the sander instead of a rasp or a file, and I just do it by feel. So that's what we're gonna do next. All right, I don't know when I videoed last, but I've got my control cavities to 1/4 inch. I've got all my holes drilled in the bodies. Right now, I'm in the process of carving necks. So you can see, I'm doing my best with dust collection. I've got my air cleaner running up here full blast. But yeah, basically what I do is I like to carve the necks here on the round part of my sander. It's not easier than using a rasp or something like that. It's actually harder to get a straight, perfectly straight line along the back. But it's easier for me to do because I don't have it like bolted down to anything like I would with a file. And I can constantly feel what needs to come down. I can turn it around. I can look at it easier. It makes more sense to do it this way. And yeah, it's turning out pretty good. I have, let's see here. I already did this one. Oh, I'm also radiusing the fingerboard. And this one here, this is already rounded over. So what I do is I take the big round over bit and I just blast off about, as much as I can get off the edge. That way there's less dust because it's not bad right now. That's only from 2 necks. So, well, actually that's 1 neck because I cleaned up after I did this guy here. But you can also see it's just roughed in pretty much. And then I actually finish carving over here at the downdraft table. Yeah, so I'm just checking my radius as I go, and that's where I'm at.